Cryptocurrency Maxis, they do not want you to be aware of this. The topic of this discussion is going to be brought up. It will be something that we will be addressing. Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning into the channel. Hello, my name is Nick. It is my aim that by the time you reach the conclusion of this video, you will have subscribed to the channel, especially if you are new to it. It is imperative that you guys start following me on all of the social media platforms right now. If you are not already doing so before, make sure that you are following me and that you are also signed up for the free Discord server by going down to the description area below. Over 6,000 people are members. There is a great deal of free information and a great deal of valuable insights included within it. Now, keeping this in mind, I want to make sure that you guys are able to break the cycle and make a significant amount of money. Why don't we jump right in? Okay, let's speak about a couple other things. Allow me to begin by discussing XRP. I just wanted to let you know that I came across this post, which was written by Chad Steengraber and was titled, "Still to this day, they will claim that it is the coin of the bankers." Then you revert your position and assert that no bank will use it. Is it the persons in question? Now, this is obviously from the month of March. Despite the fact that it is a little bit older, it is humorous because XRP was a joke for such a huge amount of time. Why would you want to invest in the XRP when there are connections back to these institutions? Is what they would describe such a question. This is a waste of time and effort. Oh, they are attempting to make this area more institutionalized by doing so. Indeed, these institutions are in charge of it. This coin belongs to the bankers. Don't do that. Do not purchase it. Instead, you should use Bitcoin. They still say things like, oh, no bank will use it despite the fact that they call it that. This is one of the things that makes it so humorous. Nobody is currently using XRP. No, it's just that at this point, it's making me laugh so hard. The debates that revolve around the area that are being discussed. As for Bitcoin, what about it all? Yes, you will. Now let's discuss about Bitcoin in more detail. With Bitcoin having been around for a considerable amount of time, let's talk about it. It's almost as if the use case potential attached to Bitcoin has been exaggerated to an extreme degree. Conserve the value. I mean, what exactly is that? Like, let's not sugarcoat this. That is 70%. 70% of the value of Bitcoin is now lost, each and every recessionary market. How exactly does that constitute a store of value? Are you able to get it back? Certainly. To what extent, however, will it continue to reach new heights? It is important to keep in mind that decreased gains are a real phenomenon. In your opinion, what is the reason behind the fact that Bitcoin Maxis are always promoting Bitcoin? In order to purchase their bags, they require retail. In order to pump their bags, they require retail. In order for Bitcoin to continue to exist, it is necessary for more individuals to purchase it. When we talk about utility assets such as XRP, HBAR, QT, and other similar currencies, we are referring to assets that are dependent on utility, which is utility that is being created in the real world and that already exists on these networks. In this sector, I hear the Bitcoin argument thrown about quite frequently, and the majority of the time, it is put forward by individuals who are Bitcoin Maxis. I have never heard someone who is in favor of cryptocurrency talk extensively about how wonderful Bitcoin is. For the reason that they comprehend it. They are aware that Bitcoin is a somewhat antiquated form of technology, and if we are being completely honest, technology does not wait for anyone. There will be a great deal more advanced technology in this sector by the time Bitcoin is usable, by the time Bitcoin is genuinely something of value that is somewhat efficient, and by the time Bitcoin is also usable. Now that we are talking about that, the founder and CEO of MTech, which is using Hedera for CBDCs, created a fantastic piece not too long ago. In it, he stated, "I might get some virtual tomatoes and eggs thrown at me for this, but here's the elephant in the room. Bitcoin has moved beyond its original purpose of facilitating financial inclusion, and some members of the cryptocurrency community appear to be moving away from that objective as well. Regarding that, I am extremely aggravated. There were indications, but it is disheartening to see the complete reversal taking place at this very moment. It is about time that this is made abundantly evident to everyone, so that we can openly accept that inequality in terms of inclusion still exists. The first thing we should do is make sure that crypto is secure and available to everyone. Second, let's talk about the fundamental requirements that humans have. Payments that are done in real time and at a lower cost, credit that is inexpensive, convenience, savings, insurance, and riches. As of right now, the demands from the community are centered on driving the price of insert your coin here, and they want the government and central banks to assist them in doing so. To put it another way, they want the government of the United States to acquire and retain Bitcoin and never sell it. Who stands to gain from the agreement as a whole? If you are one of the few individuals who are fortunate enough to have the discretionary funds to take on the bet, how is your portfolio doing at the moment? Do you want the government of the United States to be exposed to that risk? This is the Reason why fiat-backed stablecoins and tokenized currency, also known as the CBDC, were developed to prevent you from being controlled when you make purchases such as purchasing ice cream or red meat. In all honesty, it's not that complicated. Even if you ignore the reality that Bitcoin is not suitable for its intended use, human nature will prevail. At all times, we either self-destruct or become greedy when we are left alone. There is no right or incorrect answer to this question, but let us not act as if we are addressing an issue that we are not. Taking a look back, it appears that Bitcoin may have never had a chance. How come? To put it another way, networks and rebels frequently end up becoming towers and the tyrant. Their initial objective is to kill. To begin, I am not the one who decides what the rules are. I must say, this is an excellent point. On the other hand, we have our own personal perspectives. This is a very intriguing topic. The European Commission has appointed this individual to serve as its advisor for digitalization and cybersecurity in the financial sector. Brings to mind his initial contact with Bitcoin, which took place in the basement of the New York Federal Reserve, where he was surrounded by lunatics, libertarians, and central bankers. This is a highly intriguing topic. All right. Take a look at it. There are a few orders in this one in the room, and although it does not look anything like a central banker, you could tell that they were looking at a piece of the puzzle. People who wore hoodies and were geniuses, lunatics, libertarians, and blockchain enthusiasts were also present on the other side. The official of the European Commission referred to the individuals as libertarians and lunatics. In my statement, I did not mean to imply that libertarians were insane. Rather, I stated that there were both libertarians and lunatics. When I asked them about it, they answered something along the lines of, well, we're developing this blockchain and Bitcoin and such. In addition, this is the evidence that demonstrates that there is no requirement whatsoever for central banks. Putting up the idea that this is the end of central banking was a viewpoint that I found to be pretty funny and engaging, particularly when it was presented at the New York Federal Reserve in front of a room full of central bankers. Evidently, the individuals of the central bank had no idea what these individuals were talking about. Furthermore, it is evident that these libertarians and lunatics who were wearing hoodies were completely unaware of the functions of central banks and the reasons why they are so vital. In addition, if we did not have central banks at the moment, I am certain that they would be established in the future in order to manage the risk. As a result of the same, if distributed ledger technology DLT is going to be significant for competitiveness, imagine for a moment if Jens arrives into his office tomorrow and there is nothing there. This would be the case if we did not have the infrastructure for the financial market. There were no computers, no other devices, and the building was completely vacant. Assuming that Jens has a boss, the person who is in charge of him tells him that he needs to construct infrastructure. That distributed ledger technology DLT will be a far larger component of the technology stack that Jens will utilize in the future is something that I am completely certain of. Because of course they are currently relying on a substantial piece of legacy infrastructure that is functioning properly, and you are not going to chuck it overboard. However, if you were to begin with a blank slate, I am confident that distributed ledger technology DLT would assume a significantly larger role in the technology stack. In addition to this, Carmel Cadet really responded to this, which was a recent event that took place in February of 2024. This is a good example of how recent this event was. She brought up two very valid issues. The introduction of Bitcoin would have prompted central banks to take measures to minimize volatility and liquidity risk if they had not already existed. Insane thinking experiment, but it's absolutely correct. Don't bother if you had to rebuild today and you're not using distributed ledger technology DLT and tokenizing. As a result, the space is undergoing change as we take a closer look at what is taking place here. These are not Bitcoins. Bitcoin is so irrelevant that it is